guess just a lot of depth, I guess that's have to say. How have you seen that unfold as far as these guys?
Well, yeah, I was real happy with yesterday when I looked back at the ice time that the disparity amongst the forwards was not very strong at all in time on ice. Top guys were like 16, 17. The lowest guys were 12, 13. And that's a really good sign. And that's a credit to our scouts. That's a credit to Kevin and Jason and our scouting department that they're drafting not only the top guys, but the depth of the picks and the fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh rounders, the free agent signings that they can come into a tournament of this caliber and that we can roll four lines. And it's not perfect. I mean, it was a little sloppy at times tonight, but the depth has been real strong for two straight games, including newer guys that went into the lineup today that weren't in the other game.
Looking forward to seeing what Kozak can do with a year of experience, just in terms of creating more offense, because he certainly has that in his toolkit.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it in glimpses. As you guys know, the American Hockey League is so hard, and the level of play is high. He was of junior hockey age last year. If he was born a couple days later, we wouldn't even been able to have him. So we've always believed in his offensive game. We just knew that was going to be a secondary asset of his. It's not going to be the thing that drives his game or drives him to the NHL, but he's a very capable and skilled hockey player, and good players like playing with him because, number one, he wins puck battles and he gets you on offense, and then number two, he's skilled enough to make good plays with skilled players.
Are you happy with what you saw? Because the second period you're starting to turn back over.
A little?
Were you happy with the way they were coming? It seemed like they got out of it before the second period ended.
Well, two things. One, I thought Josh Fleming was outstanding in that for us. So good for him. Undrafted free agent, come in here and have a very calm performance like that. So that was important. Jersey, Utica, their style is a bit chaotic. And so, one of the things we talk about when we play Utica and Rochester is you can't be surprised by pressure. But it's hard to replicate it in video without feeling it. And they're very good. And Kevin Dineen's a great coach. And they're very good at putting you in uncomfortable positions. And when we took advantage of it, sometimes we sprung guys for weak side 2-on-1s and breakaways, and we got some great scoring chances. But if you're surprised by it, they're turnovers, and then it's going the other direction. So we did definitely turn the puck over too much in the middle of the second period. It's something we talked about. I thought we cleaned it up a little better in the second and third. But I'd say the biggest thing that we were happy about is it wasn't perfect. We were a little sloppy. They were physical and hard on us. And the amount of guys that blocked shots in the third period to get us a win, because we talked about that last night and tonight going in the third period. It's not the summer anymore. This isn't summer hockey. We have the Buffalo Sabres jersey on, and we're playing the New Jersey Devils, and we have a lead going in the third period, and you need to put yourself mentally in that spot. Well, how do you play? You manage the puck. You win puck battles, and when it's time to defend and penalty kill, you block shots for each other. And there was a ton of guys that blocked big-time shots in the last 10, 15 minutes of the game, which was a great sign.
How much of tonight is a conditioning test for playing back?
Yeah, I mean it's a lot, right? It's you're coming out of summer training, and you're not game speed is different than summer speed. Practice is different than summer speed, and then a game last night, and they're young, and it's emotional, and it's sold out, which is so cool that our fans have sold this thing out 2 nights in a row. But there's a lot that goes into it physically and emotionally and mentally, and yeah, there was a little bit of fatigue, I think, at times in the second and third, which leads to sloppy decisions. Usually that's the first thing that goes is your decision making when you get a little tired. So tomorrow will be important to take care of our bodies, and we'll get on the ice, but it'll be short. Recover properly and get ready to try to finish this tournament off the right way.
What have you noticed about Fleming? He's a guy, go back look at first last year, but here he is now. What a journey for him.
Well, yeah, with goalies, more often than not, there's some phenom goalies that just keep being that way. But more often than not, goalies that have had the hard route and have had massive amounts of adversity and have been cut and have been given up on, those are goalies you see end up matriculating to higher levels, highest levels of hockey. When I was in college, I always looked for goaltenders that had ugly paths because it's a lonely position, and when you've been cut and you've had to pull yourself off the mat and go back to Tier 2 hockey and then work your way back to Major Junior, that inner confidence you have from going through those things is important in that position. He has a really calm demeanor. And personally, I love calm goaltenders because I think in chaotic moments, sold-out buildings, when all heck is breaking loose, the bench gets a sense of calm when they look down and they see a goaltender being calm back there. And it almost doesn't feel like it's a big scoring chance he gave up. And I thought he gave us that presence tonight.
How would you describe Sabres' first impression?
Wow. I thought he was excellent. I mean, we're talking about an undrafted AHL signing. Again, great job by our management and our scouting staff and our development team that saw him last year. As advertised, he was a captain of a big-time winning franchise. And so you expect those guys, kind of like Metza, captain of a national championship team, captain of a major junior championship team. Those guys, they drip with moxie and presence and toughness. I thought he showed extremely well for his first pro game.
Like you put him in the lineup and Calder plays so well, you just couldn't take him out. And look what he's doing out here in 2 games. Is this a guy that eventually is going to earn an NHL contract?
Well, he's certainly showing that he's trending, in the right direction towards that, and he's just a guy that everybody's said isn't going to be good enough, and then he just keeps proving everybody wrong. He wasn't supposed to be good enough to play AAA hockey, and then he wasn't supposed to be good enough playing the USHL, then he wasn't supposed to be good enough playing college, then he was the 8th defenseman at Quinnipiac, and then he becomes the captain of a national championship team, and he wasn't supposed to be good enough to earn an NHL contract, and then we couldn't take him out of the lineup. It's funny, we joke with Webby last year because he's a young, new defenseman, and we went 11-7 sometimes, and there's that great scene in Moneyball where Billy Bean wants Hatteberg at first base, and they won't put him there, and so he trades everybody else away. And I sent Webby that movie clip before a game last year in the playoffs when we went 12-6. I'm like, I'm taking your option away, and Hatteberg's going to be at first because I want to see Metza get 17 or 18 minutes. So he's just, I'll never doubt that kid because his inner drive and belief in himself is higher than other people's doubt in him.
I don't want to put more into it than it is, but to be wearing the A 2 nights in a row, obviously you know what he comes from, but he's also only spent such a short time in Rochester compared to others. What have you seen in him as a leader so far?
Yeah, right away, you could see why he was the captain of a national championship team. He just has that aura, that presence about him, the way he carries himself, the way he treats others, how he works. And I'm good friends with Rand Pecknold, the head coach of Quinnipiac, and he, he's had a lot of great players and great captains, and he just raves about the driving of culture and of winning that Zach Metza did for their program. And so he's a guy that really commands respect right away from his teammates. I thought he was real good last night. I thought he was excellent tonight. That hard, competitive, using his skating, that great skating ability to defend and take time and space away from people. I think he's broken the puck out pretty darn efficiently, in games that are a little bit chaotic and ice conditions that aren't perfect, right? 3 games in one day on an ice sheet, that's hard. And, he's I've been really pleased with how he's played these first 2 games.
How much of his game is the intelligence?
Well, I think his game starts with his skating. And then yes, is he intelligent? Yes, 100%. Does he have talent? Yes. But now, and Minnesota did a really good job with him, and he's worked hard to turn, when you're a young defenseman, you use your skating for offense. And through his college years, he and Brock Faber kind of became their shutdown defensive pair. And now he's been learning over the last few years to use that great skating for defense. And I talked to him. He could be running our power play here at rookie camp. Easy. He's got more than enough skill to do it. He could run a power play in Rochester, but that isn't his path to the NHL. I mean, we have Darlene and Power, and they're going to be running it for a long time. And it's not most defensemen's path to the NHL. So it's going to be being an elite defender, being a transitional puck-moving defenseman, and getting us on offense 5-on-5, and being a strong penalty killer. And I thought he's done a really good job of that these 2 games, and has had a great attitude about not playing on the power play, which is also says a lot about him.